Today we have one of the coolest mechanical keyboards, for me at least, because I've been a ThinkPad user for quite a while now, use one every day. Therefore, I'm an avid Trackpoint user, so this is a board that I've been really looking forward to, so keen that I'll also do a giveaway at the end of the video. And this is the TEX Shinobi. TEX have been doing their Trackpoint keyboards for a few years. They've done a lot of development with their Yoda, Kadachi, but for sure their golden child is the Shinobi project. Sweet box, by the way, nice artwork and stuff. And look at this thing, what an absolute beauty. Feels pretty good in the hands, minimal flex. MX Blues with mine though, which isn't really my thing, but let's get this out of the way first. I was also sent the Bluetooth module, which is an additional $40, not outlandishly expensive. It's pretty low profile as well, as it's using two AA batteries, and these are non-rechargeable, which can be annoying for some. Super easy to install though, and there's an on and off switch with a pairing button next to it. And would you have a look at that? I absolutely love wireless peripherals. Wireless mice are an easy choice for me, but most of the time I also use this stock iQuinix F96 because it's wireless and has a numpad. Nothing special about it, just suits my workflow, so I am a believer in functionality. But the Shinobi combines the two, and we get this clean as setup. And with that combination, it makes the Bluetooth aspect of it more flexible. Again, this is very circumstantial and personal, but I am a bit of a weirdo and sometimes I sit back in my chair and use the mouse on my legs, so this works out sweet. The obvious and probably more common application would be for like couch use or some other environment where you need remote control, although it is a pretty big unit. It's like a 60% in width, but a lot taller. Well, basically has everything a TKL has. We get some extra keycaps, so if you're a Mac user, you're all covered. Oh, and it's available in ISO, so there's one for you Europeans, and also JIS. We get the classic dark navy blue enter, just like the actual ThinkPad, and yeah, a lot of people complain about a bunch of things here, because it's as non-standard as you can get, however it is completely based on this keyboard. I used to have an X220, but unfortunately I gave it away, so we can't have them side by side, sorry. We can change the control and FN keys. I did it just so I can show off some gaming later on. And here we have the dip switch functions, by the way, to change stuff like that. There's the big escape key. Gotta love dedicated media keys. Such a bonus having them on a keyboard, especially wireless. We have the function row. And notice how the keys are much shorter than the normal keys. And we have our nav keys, and of course our dedicated arrow keys with page back and forward. Alrighty, so the escape and delete, yeah, they're not 2U, they're 1.75U. Therefore the function keys are half of that in height, so like 0.75U, and this goes for the arrow cluster as well. The spacebar is 4.5U, but the rest of the bottom row is actually pretty normal, with the mouse keys being just normal 1.25U keys. And finally in the middle we have the G, H and B keys that allow for the track point. And these are pretty cool actually, looking at them. I don't know, it's just interesting to me, and that additional work they had to do. So clearly there is absolutely no replacing these keycaps with aftermarket ones, and that is the consequence of following the actual ThinkPad layout. Personally, I think it's so cool that they've done this. They've stayed true to the layout and stayed true to what they wanted to do, and I can absolutely appreciate that. You know, it's not half-baked, it's their own molds that they had to make to achieve this. On the other hand, you're stuck with this, and the keycaps aren't the best. They do look good though. They're a uniform TEX ADA profile, somewhat similar to DSA, spherically sculpted but with rounded corners. Unfortunately, the legends are laser engraved. So like the old Vortex pokeboards, I suspect that these will darken over time and potentially fade. So yeah, that kinda sucks, although only time will tell how these will fare, but they do sell their key sets including a bunch of ISO ones, Japanese and blanks. It is what it is, and for me, you either like it or you don't, so whether that fixed non-customizable layout is for you, I don't know, but I just wish somehow we could have avoided the laser engrave stuff. And making all these small keys just normal one use would have worked, but it also would have changed the aesthetic. I don't know, let me know what you think. Alrighty, let's get to the exciting stuff, the Trackpoint. Trackpoint users, you know how good Trackpoints are, and damn I love this. They actually visited Lenovo for this. By the way, their Facebook page has heaps of cool updates and logs, which I'll link. And the rubber caps are genuine Lenovo caps for their Trackpoints, and honestly the feel on the Shinobi is pretty much on point. And just a quick explanation, we have left and right click, with the middle being for scroll. As said, I've used ThinkPads for years, so it's easy for me, but for sure it'll take some time to get used to for new users. Let's open up Insurgency to see how it fares in probably the most extreme situation you'd use this in. So straight away, aiming down sights with right click is nearly impossible, for me at least, way too uncomfortable, so I moved it to the J key, and I'm just doing this for fun, but it's not too bad, definitely mad difficult, so I'm just versing bots. Otherwise I'd get absolutely ripped apart. I didn't really play around too much with my sensitivity options properly, so I found it difficult to get pinpoint accurate on top of course using a track point instead of a mouse. I also didn't have any drifting issues, which can become apparent in older track points over time. Honestly couldn't do this for too long because of how cramped it is, but fun nonetheless, and hopefully this kinda shows you that track points can be pretty good. The mouse keys do sit lower than the rest of the board with a big cutout for them, and if we take off the keycaps, they do have a longer stem. The switches don't share the same plate, and yep, they're cherry low profile red key switches, which still share the same cross stem, but are of course shorter. These are linear, so no tactile bump or click, and you'll be stuck with them since that's all Cherry actually made of these low profile switches besides the silvers. I found them totally fine, but clicky or tactile would have been pretty cool options as well. As for the rest of the board, I have Cherry MX Blues. Unfortunately not my thing at all, especially for a board like this, and it's available in the other Cherry MX variants as well. Yeah, it feels pretty standard for a pre-built, although it's swamped by the MX Blues. And don't expect it to feel absolutely amazing like a custom because it doesn't. And the feel and sound, it's not a strong point at all. So 100% when I mod this keyboard, I'll chuck in some other switches. Not sure if I'll go tactile or linear. Laptops are of course tactile, so let me know what you think I should go with. And the stabs are pretty loose and rattly, which would be more noticeable with other switches. But, check this out. The board is 185 USD, which I already see as a very fair price for what you get. However, the DIY kit, which comes with everything besides the key switches, and we know that there are so many potentially better key switch options out there, is only $105. That's crazy. 76 bucks less that you can spend on amazing switches, loop them up as well. But $105 for this, extremely fair pricing for sure. So I definitely recommend getting the DIY version if you were to get this board. However, you will need to solder, which is very easy anyway. Okay, let's take this apart to have a closer look. This Shinobi artwork on the bottom is pretty aesthetic too, big square sticker. And from here, it really does resemble a laptop, like the top ABS plastic housing is very laptop-like. Interestingly, the screws are only in the bottom half, with the top bit just clipping into place. To take the board out of the bottom housing, we have to remove the Bluetooth module, and it comes right out. The bottom ABS housing is pretty simple, bit of ribbing on the bottom for reinforcement, and not a whole lot of room for maybe foam. It is a tray mount design, but the mounts are all around the actual keys, so nothing in the middle, although it is pretty stiff anyway with a 1.5mm steel plate, which gives it some decent heft as well. Looking at the PCB, and we can see the Trackpoint in the middle, and it looks reasonably serviceable. The mouse keys are strictly just for the low profile switches, so you can't replace those with other types. For the normal keys, 5-pin switches are supported, so that's great if you want to get the DIY version. Alright, so it's no secret that I absolutely love this board, but a lot of that love is because I use a ThinkPad, so there's that clear bias, and the price plays a big part. But I do love that TEX made a keyboard that is unique and special in the market, and is something that they've gone out to achieve while maintaining the ThinkPad essence. And there's a lot of sacrifices that had to be made which have consequences that don't particularly play with typical keyboard conventions, so obviously the layout is really cool, but it's totally non-standard, so you can't replace the keycaps, and the keycaps have laser etch legends which are known to dull and fade over time, and no customizability in that regard. I mean, they could have standardized it a bit more, but you still have the G, H, and B keys to deal with for the Trackpoint. And damn, I love the Trackpoint. I'll probably spam that term throughout the video, but it's so cool to have one on a keyboard, especially when you pair it with Bluetooth. The board just comes into its own really. Again, $185 is a solid price for the board with all the custom work that they've done. Bluetooth is an additional $40, which I heavily recommend to get the most out of it. But most importantly, if you can solder, 100% get the DIY version, no question. So much better value at $109, and you can get way better key switches and lube them up. I gave it a lot of thought about how much praise I'm giving this board, keeping in mind my past, but I feel it's justified. I pointed out the potential issues, and of course feel and sound is extremely important, but the DIY kit especially is as clear as the board's identity. I'm so happy with this that I want to share this goodness. I'll give away a DIY kit. We'll make it simple, just be subscribed and comment down below what switches you would put in.